Sorry, Dad. You got this here, which are finger picks. You get brass ones or plastic ones. I haven't actually got a full set of any of them, I don't think. I think I've lost the thumb one for the brass, and I've got a thumb one for that, and a couple of fingers. I don't know how come I've lost them so quickly, because I don't hardly use them. Anyway, small random picks there. And a few thin picks, which that's a very thin pick, Daniel. I know how thin that is. Probably about 0.4 millimeters or something like that. They're probably quite usable. Well, Dan, I think that's pretty much the roundup of what you need to know. I don't think there's anything that I failed to mention, but if there is, I've pretty much covered everything. So it might be only one or two things that I do need to mention after all. I'll send you up a bit of paint as well and a bit of wax. So if you want to modify the back, and actually, Daniel, I'd like you to modify the back. I'd like to make it look a bit better because it is a bit crap. I'm starting to rush it. It's just I've spent so long on the guitar, and really when I made that mistake, I thought it best to cover it, and then that didn't work out. So then I had to paint it and then put the studs in to make it look a little bit better, which it looks a little bit better, but it's still a bit shit. And the name, that'll easily come off, and you can just whip out the pins. You can whip out the pins and rewrite the name somewhere, or you can name it something different if you want to. You think of something better than that, which I'm sure you can't, can you? Better not. Right, Dan, if you could do, that'd be good if you could, though. Yeah. Okay then, Dan, yes, I recommend you do something with the back here. I mean, if you're going to keep this pickup, which is no reason why you shouldn't, it's a nice acoustic pickup, seems to work well. And put an electric pickup that you have to wire up together, it's going to be a bit more difficult, but you wouldn't even have to take this out necessarily. You could wire it up along with the other one. I don't know how you'd wire it up really, but you literally could just put one there. You wouldn't need to take it out, but if you wanted to, you could take that out. You could use it on an acoustic guitar. But you'll have to attach it somehow because I've sawn bits off. But yeah, you could put another pickup there. You might fancy getting a new one, like a nice humbucker or something. You might want to make one yourself. I think you can make them yourself, and you can solder, can't you, Dan? So it might be a bit of a hobby for you. But literally anything on the guitar can be changed. This can be changed. This can be changed. As you can see, yes, very important, Daniel, how to play the guitar. Everything can be changed basically. These normally here you would have like a little ferrules. But that's normally because the holes are bigger than these. But these tuners, they come straight through, and they're solidly against the wood. The hole is the exact size for these to fit through. So we don't really. There's no point in them. We don't need them. I mean, normally you need them to stop pressure on the guitar because it's going to be strong. So it's not necessary. I probably would have put some on if I had some, and could be bothered to drill everything out and line them up. But really, there's no need. Totally necessary, so we didn't bother with that. Something else I was going to say then, might come back to me. The important thing to remember, Daniel, is it's a slide guitar, and it's in the key of D. It's tuned to a D, so when you do that, it's a D. And what you have to remember is that each double set of dots is a whole note, and it goes in order like the alphabet. So we have D, and then E, F, and G, and A, B, C, and then all the way back to D. And D, as you can see, is marked with 3 dots. So when you play that, it's the same chord as when you play. Same chord as when you play there. Which you can't, obviously, because I've got slides. Right then, Daniel. So yeah, you got D, and then you got D sharp, and then E flat, and E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A, B flat, B, C, C sharp, and then D. And then it starts again. D sharp, E, F, and then G, and then A. And it goes up to A sharp. But you can get your fingers a bit further up. You'll have like a B, maybe a C. I'm not sure. I think you might be able to. Yeah, you might be able to just about reach up there. Yeah, but there's definitely 2 dots I couldn't get on there, so there's a couple more frets up there you can use. So yeah, you don't need frets. You don't need frets because you're not fretting it. You just need to know where it is. You need to know where each chord is. So just make sure you got a finger in line. But listen to how it sounds. once you play a D and then you play the next chord, say it's I don't know, say it's an A or a G, we should be there. Say if you play it too far away from where the actual notes chord's supposed to be, it won't sound quite right. So you can listen to what it sounds like as well as just looking. You can hear that it don't sound quite right. You know what music sounds like. Very pleased with the way these turned out, Dan. I've got some little upholstery pins, and I'm really pleased with how that looks. So I would like it to fix the back a little bit, make it look a bit less shit than it is. But I'm happy to leave that for you to do, Daniel. I'm not disappointed too much. I'm very happy with the rest of it. It sounds fine, it looks good, and it plays easy enough. And you can hold it and get a tune out of it. I think it's more or less in tune anyway. One more thing, Daniel, one more thing I need to tell you about is this tuner. This is, where's it gone? Oh yeah, fucking phone. Don't have to use a phone to do video, Daniel. Crap. This is a Snark. The tuner that you got is probably going to be fine, but what it is about this, it's not going to be working at the moment. I don't think it will work properly. But what it is, it's see if it does work. It might. Oh, that's it. If you look at how it's operating, you'll see it doesn't just give you a D or whatever it is. It varies quite quickly. Like that D there. So you can see by how much it is or isn't in tune. In other words, it doesn't get roughly to the right note and then say it's in tune. Especially if you overtune it a bit. So we've got the F there. Sorry, F. You can see it moving about. And the thing about that is, you don't always necessarily want your guitar to be in tune. Which, with this guitar, you probably won't notice so much. But if you get yourself an acoustic guitar at some point, you'll find that strings can all go out of tune at once. That's due to weather conditions. So you might start tuning your guitar, and you say, "Oh, the D's out," and then you go down, and then the other strings are out, and they're all out. But if you just play each one individually whilst you look at your tuner, if they're all out by the same amount, just leave them. You're not playing in the band, so it doesn't need to be in tune with anyone else. It just needs to be in tune with itself. So if you look at your D there, so you can see wavering about. So it's not quite, it's slightly higher. But as long as the other one is slightly higher as well, that's fine. Because it wavers about so quickly, you can see it's really accurate to see whereabouts you are as far as the tuning is concerned. In other words, being static, you can still move your tuner a little bit either way, and it's going to stay on the same line. And plus as well the yellow as well. It's good indicators when you're over or under. And as you see, the D's under there, so you'd obviously have to tune. But sometimes all the strings are out of tune. But I don't think it's going to happen with this guitar because I don't think the weather's, the change of weather's going to affect it too much. It's different with acoustic guitars and other electric guitars, I think, because they've got an attached neck and it's thinner, and they're constructed of more flimsy materials, perhaps. Whereas this is just carved out of one solid piece of wood, basically going anywhere. Hopefully, Daniel, this will last you 100 years. With a bit of luck. It certainly looks solid enough. I mean, if ever loses his life as a guitar, I'm sure it could be turned into some sort of, I don't know, medieval type weapon or a ladder or something like that. Part of a brick wall, who knows? Anyway, Daniel, I think I need to sign off. I think that's all I need to know. Hopefully these videos will get uploaded all right. I'll check on YouTube, see if they do. And then I'll sound stupid for saying I hope these videos uploaded right, because the video will be there and I would have known they did. So I mean, I have to edit it. No, I'm not going to edit. No, fuck that. So Daniel, yeah, I don't think there's anything else you need to know. I did get myself a bargain the other day, Dan. I got this, which I recommend quite highly actually. You remember that one you fixed for me, that Korg? They're good, but they're £45. and really the functionality is not as good as this, because this one's got like a drum machine on it, where you just press the button there and you get a drum beat. The Korg had a bass line with it, but I couldn't figure out how to use the controls on it. But this one, the controls seem a little bit complicated, but you get a manual online anyway, and you got 2 foot pedals here as well, so you can actually use these as foot pedals. So yeah, he was told as parcel not working, because he wasn't sure if he was working or not. He said he came on, but he hadn't tested it and it looked good, so I thought, well, he was told it was working, I believe him, and I bought it, and it did. It's only £22 with postage and packing, bargain, because normally about 30 quid at least second hand. But yeah, this is a Zoom G1, I think it's called Zoom G1. Yeah, something similar to that would be good, Daniel. You get some effects, but you can probably plug it through your amplifier. Talking of which, mustn't forget, if you do want to plug things into your amplifier, I've got a lead here which is plugged into my Zoom from my amp here, from my surround sound. You probably can't, yeah, can you see? This is the auxiliary video, left and right audio, I think, and that goes into that finishes like with a little plug, which has got an adapter to go into like a jack plug, which goes into the back of the Zoom. I don't think I've got any spare cables like this, and even if I did, they're not going to be very long anyway, but I'm sure you can figure out a cable or pick one up for 20 pence at the charity shop, something to plug into your amp. There's probably different inputs you can go into, but it's not. I don't think it's ideal going into the auxiliary video, because I'm not sure if the output is correct or not. I've had to turn the amplifier right up to get a sound out of it, but I think that might be the amp anyway. It's like that, you do have to tend to like move the knob a lot, so I'm not 100% sure, but it did seem like it wasn't getting that much power to it, but it doesn't matter anyway. I mean, it was working. Just don't really exhaust your amp too much, perhaps, by struggling to, cope with the signal, which it's not designed to cope with. It could be because it's really low outputs, perhaps. Right then, I thought I'd finished, but obviously hadn't. But there's your connections anyway. I'm sure you can figure out your connections. Yeah, I'm sure you can figure out how to connect it to your amp or hi-fi or whatever, or anything else. What I'd recommend you don't do is buy like a cheap guitar. You might see a cheap guitar amp in cash generators or a charity shop or something. Don't buy a cheap one, because the cheap one's really awful. I've got one here. I was thinking of sending it to you, Daniel, but it's so awful. To be honest, this little one's better. It's better sound quality than the one I got upstairs. It came with Denny's guitar, which is over here, which is given to me. But it's such a bad guitar. I had to replace the nut because the strings broke through it. It's like, I don't know, it's made of jelly or something. I don't know. But yeah, I had to replace the nut anyway, but that's fine, because I play with a high action, so that's fine. It suits me great, because I'll just replace the nut with a string heightener, and it fits in perfectly to the slot where the nut was, so I don't even need to buy a new nut. But yeah, I've tried to modify the guitar a bit, and it seems to work okay. I'm going to have a go at it at some point, as soon as I get a chance, really. And there's mine there. Oh, yes, Daniel, so this is all about your guitar and what's with it, and what you need to bear in mind, which is mainly buy good strings, really. Yeah, stick to Ernie balls. Ernie ball aluminium core, they're about £10 on Amazon. If you're going to buy some new strings, I've listened to them on YouTube, and they sound good. I think they suit this guitar really well. But they're a bit expensive though. Ernie balls are about maybe £6 or £7. But really, as long as you can check the length, as long as they'll fit, you can buy any strings. It's just like Ernie ball, I guarantee to fit, as long as they're original and not copies. Otherwise, they might not fit. Right, Daniel, I need to have a cup of tea. I've said enough now. I think I need to go. At some point, I'll maybe put some lessons up online for you, just to show you like some basics of how to get going. But really, just play as you like. I mean, I had no idea what I was doing when I started playing. But you could look online for some basic chord progressions. You play a D, and then that after that you need to play like maybe, I don't know, what do you need to play after a D? D, E, F, G, G. E, and then what, an A? Yeah, D, G, A, something like that. Or then you play like an A, and then what you play after an A? B, C, D. Play like a D, and then an E, A, D, E. That's like a 1, 4, 5 progression, which is like a normal chord progression. And there's all sorts of other chord progressions you can try. But I'd recommend just try playing chords for the moment. Just seeing what chords sound nice together, and I think you can do that already anyway, Daniel. I think he was playing something when he was here on my guitar, so I think you'll do alright. But yeah, you can go online, loads of stuff online, you know, about chord progressions and whatnot. I'm actually just starting to learn to play with my fingers on this guitar here, that one there. So this Lindo. The good thing about learning to play on a slide guitar is that at least you know when you get to a guitar that you want to play with your fingers. And this, I've left this in an open tuning, so I'm having to learn some like chords for the open tuning. Bar chords you can use all up the neck to get each chord, but you don't want to do that all the time, and I can't get bar chords easily. But once you start playing a slide guitar, you'll get to know like chord sequences in relations to each other. And when you come to play something like this, if you know already that an A, say like an A and B, C, D, A, D, and E goes together, then you can learn the chords that you're learning in relationship to what you already know. So you've got an idea of how they sound, but then also you've got the variations of the chords. So with a slide guitar, you're very limited. You can only play four major chords, or you can play flat chords. You can't actually play minor chords, but you can call the flats minors if you like. But you are very limited because you can only play with like basically one chord at a time, can't you? It's basically just a slide. It's like using one finger all up the fretboard. So I've lost my train of thought now. But anyway, this is an open D. So yeah, I'm starting to learn that now, and it's going to be a bit easier because, yeah, as I was saying, once you know that A goes with D and E, well, I've done A, D, and E, but then I can vary it. I might want to do like an A minor and a D and an E, or I might want to do A, D, and an E7, or something along those lines. Similar chords, but slightly different in character. And therefore I'm going to get a bit more variation to the guitar playing, and a little bit more interest in it. So for me, after 2 years or so, I think it's a good progression to actually move on to playing with my fingers, even though it's a little bit difficult. I might get bored of it in the end, but I feel like I should push myself to at least try and play without a slide on a normal guitar, even if it is in D tuning. And at some point I might learn standard tuning, but there's no need really, because if you can play your own guitar, you'll tune your own guitar to whatever you like. So I'll probably stick with that for at least the next few years, to be quite honest. And hopefully I'll keep going. If I don't, it's fine. I'll just keep playing the slide. But I do like the idea of being able to play it properly. Anyway, that's why I recommend you get yourself an acoustic guitar. It's easy to pick up as well. But don't buy anything expensive. Buy something with a warped neck. That's going to be really cheap, because you're going to raise up the action anyway, so it doesn't matter that the action's crap. So it doesn't be, any old crappy guitar is good as long as it can take steel strings. Don't buy something that would only take nylon string, like a flamenco, like a Spanish type classical guitar. Nothing like that. Something with metal strings is what you need, or that'll take metal strings. Or make your own. I'm making one for Becky next, out of an old Quality Street tin and a piece of an old pine bed. So I'm interested to see how that goes. And I've got another one lined up to make myself as well. And hopefully I'm getting like a really tatty old violin, which I can I'm going to design a violin for myself at some point. But with all these guitars to make, I don't know when I'll get around to that. Anyway, Daniel, it's over 20 minutes for even this section alone on the video, so I'm going to say bye. Take care, mate. Bye.